already we have discussed entry control loop and exit control loop. Now we will discuss different kinds of looping statements. So the first statement through which we are going to start is the while loop, concept of while loop. Okay. So while loop, it is basically a type of entry control loop. So as already we have discussed, in case of entry control loop, the conditions will be verified before executing the body of the loop. Or in other words, we can say the body of the loop execution depends on the condition. Means the flowchart, if you can remember, it was like this. First we have to perform the initialization operation. After initialization, we apply the condition. We apply the condition. Now, there are two probabilities for this condition. Either the condition will be true or the condition will be false. So, if the condition is true, the body will be executed. The body of the loop will get executed. Or the body of the loop may consist of one statement, may consist of multiple statements. Then it will perform the increment or the decrement operation as per the requirement, as per the type of the loop. Okay, then it will perform the increment or decrement operation. And after increment or decrement, again the control will be redirected to the condition. That means the condition will be again verified. The condition will be again verified. And if the condition is true, again the body of the loop will execute. So the body of the loop will execute until this condition become false. Okay, if the condition is true for 10 times, then the body of the loop will execute 10 times. If the condition is true for 100 times, then the body of the loop will execute 100 times. Okay, so that's why it is called loop. This body of the loop we are executing multiple times by applying the condition, by the concept of looping. So this is the concept of loop. Loop means basically executing a particular set of statement multiple times. And here if the condition is false, then the body of the loop will not get executed. So if whenever we are coming to the condition, if the primary condition or the first time condition is false, then the body of the loop will not be executed. Okay, the body of the loop will not execute once. Now this is the concept of loop. What is iteration? Iteration means one execution of the body, one execution of the body of the loop is called one iteration. Okay, is called one iteration. So this is one iteration. That means if the body of the loop execute 10 times, we can say the loop will iterate 10 times. Okay, so one iteration is equal to one execution of the body. Now how we perform this through while loop or through the syntax of the while loop. So basically these are the three components that already we have discussed. Initialization should be there, condition should be there, and either increment or decrement should be there. So these are our three component of any kind of loop. So what we do, first we perform the initialization operation. Okay. So let us take a variable I that is equals to 1. So that is my initialization operation. Initially we have assigned a value in I variable. Then we apply the condition. So we apply the condition within the while keyword. Okay. So within while we write I less than 10. So that is my condition. So after condition there is no terminator. Semicolon is basically called the terminator, but after while we are not using any terminator because we are not going to terminate the while loop here. The body of the loop is depending on the while loop, so it is the continuation of the while statement. The body of the loop is basically the continuation of the while statement. So here we are not applying any terminator, and this is the basically the body. This parenthesis is basically representing the body of the loop. So here the body is starting and here the body is ending. That means if the condition is satisfied, then whatever statements are there inside the body, that set of statement will be executed multiple times. So which statement will be executed multiple times, that we are defining through this parenthesis, and which is called the body of the loop. Okay. So let us assume here we are going to print C program. We are printing the statement C program. Okay. After that we increase the value of I plus plus. So that is my increment operation. So all the three components are present here. This is my initialization component, this is the condition component, and this is the increment component. So that is all about the while loop, how we are writing the while loop. Now if you compare the flowchart and the while syntax of the while loop parallelly, you can see here strictly we are following the characteristics of entry control loop. Here we have applied the condition. This is the condition that we have applied before the body. Condition we have applied before the body. Okay. Now, how it will get executed? How it will get executed according to the flowchart. So, or what will be the output due to the execution of this program? So, what we are basically doing? The value of I is initially 1. Okay. The value of I is initially 1. So when the value of I is 1, the next it will come to the condition. Next it will come to the condition. So it will verify the condition for the value of current value of I is true or not. For the current value of I is true or not. So my current value of I is 1. So the condition will be true. 1 is less than 10. So when the condition is true, if this condition is true, then it will enter into the body of the loop. It will enter into the body of the loop. So after entering into the body of the loop, it will print the statement C program. So it will print C program. It will print C program. Then what will happen? The next statement is I plus plus. The value of I will increase. So what is the value of I now? The current value of I is 2. The current value of I is 2 after the increment operation. And after increment, according to the flowchart, again it will be redirected to the condition. After performing the increment, again it will get back to the condition. Okay, and this process will continue. It will get back to the condition, execute, again get back to the condition. So now it will verify the condition with the current value of I. So the current value of I is now 2. Previously it was 1, but after the increment, the current value of I becomes 2. So for this, the value of current value of I, that is 2, the condition is again true. The condition will be again true, and if the condition is true, again it will execute the statement. So again we will get C program as output. Okay. After that, the value of I, again it will increase. So it is I equals to 3. It is I equals to 3. So for I equals to 3, again it will get back and verify the condition, and the process will repeat. It will execute the printf, increase, back to condition. Printf, increment, and again back to condition. So again it will print C program. Okay. So same process will repeat for I equal to 4, I equals to 5, in that way up to I equals to 9. It will print C program. It will print C program. So when the value of I is 9, when the value of I will become 9 by incrementing gradually 1 by 1. So the condition will be true and it will print the C program. Then the value of I will become 10. After execution, this printf statement, the value of I will become 10, and again it will be redirected to the condition. Now when it will come to the condition is I less than 10. So for the value of I equals to 10, the condition will be false, because 10 less than 10 is not true. 10 less than 10 is not true. 10 is equals to 10. So this condition will be false, and when this condition will be false, this body of the loop will not be executed no more. So it will stop. For the value of I equals to 10, the loop will stop. Okay, so it will print the C program, this statement, printf statement, due to which we are getting this output C program. It will print the C program 9 times. It will print the C program 9 times, but we have written the printf statement only once. By writing the statement only once, we are executing it 9 times. That's why it is called the concept of loop. Okay. Now here, how we will decide that how many times, if we are executing a particular loop, how many times it will execute. Depending on that, what basically we have to make the changes into the program. It is very simple. If you can see here in this particular example, what is the initial value of I? That is 1. Okay, and what is the final value of I? That is 9. Now initialization is done by the programmer. We are initializing the value of I. We can initialize 1, we can initialize 10, we can initialize 100, anything we can initialize. And how many times the loop will execute, that is completely depending on this condition. That why the loop has stopped at I equals to 10, why it is not continuing with 10, 11, 12. Okay, so the loop has stopped the iteration at I equals to 10 value because of this condition we have applied here. So this condition is also applied by the programmer. So these two statements, basically the initialization and condition, these two statements is basically control the whole execution of the loop. How many time it will execute. The count is basically controlled by this statement. Okay. Now if for example, if I want to execute this statement 20 times, if I want to execute the C program statement 20 times, so what basically we can do? We can change the condition. So what we can write? We can write I less than equals to 20. I less than equals to 20. So the C program, this statement will execute 10 times for I equals to 1, 2, 3, 4 in that way. Up to 20 it will be true. When the value of I equals to 1, it is true. In that way, when the value of I will become 20 gradually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and so on in that way. When it will become 20, the condition will be true. So 20 times it will execute. After that, when it will be 21, that is false. It will not get executed. Okay. That is the way how we can do it. Another process is that you can change the initialization option also. What I do, I write I equals to 10. I greater than equals to 0. Okay. Then I minus. So that is also possible. This loop will also execute 10 times. This loop will also execute 10 times. For this also it will print. So what will happen basically? Here we are counting it in the opposite word, nothing else. Previously we were counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that way. Here we are counting with I equals to 10, then I equals to 9, then I equals to 8. In that way it will reach to I equals to 0, then I equals to minus 1. For that it will stop. Okay, and for this all values of I, it will continue printing the C program. Okay, so when the value of I is 10, the condition is to I, 10 is greater than 0. So it will print the statement. Then decrement, that means we are decreasing the value of I. Previously it was 10, now the updated value of I will be 9. So for 9 again it will execute, for 8 again it will execute. In that way, when the value of I will 0, it will execute. After that the value of I will be minus 1. So when it is minus 1, the condition will be false and it will stop. So that is the way how we can execute the while loop. And what will be the initial value, what will be the condition, and either we will perform the increment operation or decrement operation, that completely depends on the programmer. A particular loop that we want to execute 10 times, so there are different way to execute the statement 10 times. For example, I can count 10 to 20. Okay, sorry, 10 to 21, then it will become. Okay, now you can write greater than, less than, equals to 20. What we can do, we can write 1 to 20. One to 10, or we can write 10 to 1. We can write 20 to 10. We can write 100 to 110. Okay, we can write 210 to 200. So that is the initialization, this is the initialization, and this is the condition. This is the initialization, this is the condition or terminating value. Initialization, condition. Okay. So both, if you check all this, this all iteration will be executed 10 times. Every time it will execute 10 times. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. If I say less than 20 only. So for this, you can see that what will be the initialization value and what will be the terminating condition or what will be the value in the condition, that is completely depending on the programmer. And by different values of initialization, by different condition, we can execute a particular statement similar number of times that I have shown here. Now that also I am going to explain through programming also, that using while loop how we can execute program or what kind of output we are getting due to the execution of the while loop.
So this is a very simple program that we can execute by using while loop. So this simple program I have taken to show how to write a while loop in C programming and how the while loop get executed. So as we know that there are three components in every loop has. First one is initialization. So that is my initialization part where I have initialized the value of I as 1. Then there is a condition. So within while we provide the condition. So this is my conditional expression, that is I less than equals to 10. So until and unless the value of I becomes 11 or greater than 10, the condition will remain true. And this parenthesis is basically representing the body of the loop within which we perform the increment operation. So here this condition is true, that's why this body of the statement will execute multiple times, and every time the value of I will increase. So we have initialized the value of I as 1, and after every execution the value of I will increase by 1. So let us execute the program and see what output we are getting here. So here you can see how many iteration. Iteration is basically one execution is called one iteration. If a loop gets executed once, we can say it is one iteration. So here the value of I, we have started with 1. I has started the journey with the value 1. Then this condition is true for the value of I equal to 1, and the body of the loop get execute. So it is printing iteration I, that is iteration 1, and then the value of I increased, so it becomes 2 now, and with that value of I again it will get back to the while, that is the condition, and it will verify the condition. So for the value of I equal to 2, the condition is again true, that's why the body of the loop will again execute and it will print iteration 2. This process will repeat, so the value of I will become 3 and again it will come to the condition, verify the condition is true, so it prints iteration 3, and this process continue up to iteration 10. And after printing this iteration 10, the value of I becomes 11. After another increment it becomes 11, and with the value of I equal to 11, when it get back to the condition become false, and as the condition become false, the body of the loop, this is the body of the loop, stop execution. So here we are getting this. So from this you can see that the initial value of I is 1, and the condition that through which we are basically terminating the value of I, that is I less than equal to 10. So 1 to 10, the body of the loop execute 10 times, so that you can see here. Now if I change the condition to 100 and again if I execute it, so 1 to 100 the loop should get execute 100 times, as you see here. Here we are getting from iteration 1 to iteration 100. So by that way, by changing the initialization or the condition, we can control the number of execution of the loop. So that is the way how the while loop basically gets executed. Now another example I will show, in which I will show you that where to apply this concept of while loop. So here I have written a program through which basically we want to find out the digits of a number, or we can find out the sum of the digits of a number, or we can print a number in reverse order. So I have merged all these three programs because the logic behind the program is same. So here I have taken n is the number in which we assign the number on which we want to perform the operation. First I am going to just discuss how to print the digits or sum at a time. So what I have done, I have written p equal to n mod 10. So let me first explain what basically we are doing here, then I will go to the execution part of the program. Okay. Now see, if I consider the value of n, is 35, I am taking a very small number, 2-digit number as an example. So the value of n here is equal to 35. The value of n we have taken is input as 35. Now if the value of n is 35, so it will come to the loop because my condition is n not equal to 0. So for the value of n 35, the condition is obviously true, so it will get into the loop. And the value of p, that is n by 10. So if I perform 35 by 10, then in p we will get 3 as a result. And in c, n mod 10. So if I perform 35 mod 10, in c we will get basically 5 as a result, right? And after that we update the value of n, that is n equals to p equals to 3. N is equals to p is equals to 3. So the value of n is updated to 3 now. So updated value of n is now 3. Now come to this s. What is the value of s? Value of s is equal to s plus c. So my value of s is initially 0. The value of s we have taken initially as 0. So it will be 0 plus c. What is the value of c? You can see the value of c is 5. So it is 0 plus 5. Right? And here it will print, in output it will print 5 because we are printing 5 here. Now again it will get back to the condition. Now when it will come to the condition, now what is the value of n? The value of n is now 3. That you can see here, we have already updated the value of n. So value of n is 3 now. But again, for the value of n equal to 3, the condition is true. So it will enter into the loop. Now what is the value of p? P is equal to n by 10. So n by 10 means 3 by 10. So it will be 0. The value of p is 0. And the value of c will be, due to same reason, we are performing modulus, it is 3. And here we update the value, n equal to p, that is equal to 0 now. Come to this, so it will print the previous s, that is 0 plus 5, plus the current value of c, that is 3. So it is 0 plus 5 plus 3. Okay. And here it will print the value of c again, so that is 3 now. That is 3 now. So what we can see, now it will again get back to the condition, but now the value of n has already become 0. N has become 0, so the condition is false. The loop will not iterate again. So the loop iterates 2 times because we have taken a 2-digit number. And in s what we are getting, that is 0 plus 5 plus 3, that is the sum of the digits of a number. You can see if the number we have taken 35, so the digits are 5 and 3. So that is printing the sum, and here we are getting the digits. So let us execute the program and see what happens. So I have taken 35. So as you see, the digits, this is 5 and 3 get printed, that just I was discussing, and the sum is 5 plus 3, so it is 8. So this is my number 35 that we have done. And in similar logic we can perform the reverse also. So for this variable reverse, what will happen basically, that r equals to, for the first time, that is 1 into 10 because we have taken r as a 0 into 10. So plus c, so it will be only 5. In the next iteration it will be 5 into 10 plus 3. So that is equal to 53. So my input was 35 and the reverse is 53. Exactly we are getting that. So in that way, by using the while loop, we can find out different operation. Now if I consider 3 or 4 digit number, for example like this, so you can see where we are getting 3754, these are the digits, and sum 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 7 is 16, 16 plus 13 is 19, that we are getting here. and the reverse is 3754 3754 we are getting. Okay, so we can take a number with any number of digit. Using this logic you can find out all these operations. Okay, and here we have taken another example that we can also implement by this, that is the number is palindrome or not. So palindrome means if a number and its reverse is same, then it is called a palindrome number. So here we have taken the value of n into temp variable, and temporary variable I have considered because due to this operation the value of n will be updated. So the input that we will take in n, that will get changed here. So that's why the value of n we have previously stored in temporary variable. And what is the reverse? Reverse we are getting in r. So now if I say the value of temp and value of r is same, then it is a palindrome that we are applying here. If the reverse and the temp is same, it is a palindrome, else it is not palindrome. So let me show you a example of palindrome number. So if I consider 1221, okay, so reverse will be again 1221, that you see here. The reverse is 1221, so it is a palindrome number. So in the same program I have shown you 4 application of while loop, and this application that we are doing, or the problem that we are solving using while loop, that problem we can solve using do while also, and in the do while I will show you that how to solve a problem by using do while, and what is the difference between while and do while, that I will show you in the lecture of do while.